This podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability, criminal prosecution, and the wrath of the tall man.
Boy! Hey, let's talk about you, the ID10T community events at ID10T.com, like Russ Stevens, a.k.a.
Catbus Russ,
who has started a podcast called 90 for Chill, which Russ says is dedicated to movies with a runtime between 74 and 99 minutes, the time frame that I feel is ideal. Russ, I could not agree with you more. That is a fantastic idea. Russ goes on to say there are times you need a cinematic fix but don't have time for the latest Scorsese masterpiece or offering from a comic book universe. There's also times when you need a conclusion to prevent a binge costing you a whole night. My guest and I try to follow these guidelines as we chat up features that are definitely worth your time and are beyond easy to make time for. 90 for Chill, the podcast, can be found on all major podcast platforms at 90forchill.com, and that's spelling out 90, Ninety, 4 FOR, chill. So there you go. Thank you so much for sharing, Russ. Really great idea for a podcast. Events at ID10T.com for everyone else.
Beyond space. Beyond time. In order to escape from an intergalactic prison, they must become Galaxy Warriors. Galaxy Warriors.
I know it isn't a horror feature, but I decided to watch another movie from a creator that I have a bunch of respect for. This would be a film from associate producer Aaron Reynolds, best known as the artist behind Effin' Birds and the Bootleg Safari panels. The film is Galaxy Warriors from 2022. Didn't get a final release till about 2024, I believe, when I picked up the Blu-ray from his table down in New Orleans. It's a story of two bounty hunters, primarily Demeter and her pilot Vesta, as they go to a prison planet to rescue their Demeter's sister Artemis from the grasp of an evil, mechanical armed, one-eyed warden named Enyo. And that pretty much sums it up, really. It's a take on the women in prison genre, as much as it is a science fiction one. It is a load of fun. It is you have to admire where you have the really cheap effects, especially when it comes to, say, spaceship models, and I like the ode to Flash Gordon with the little orb, kind of camera orb, dare I say cambot. It's more silly than anything. I think the acting could have probably been a little more over the top, I think, to really sell how silly this feature is. There are definitely some performers, dare I say, phoning it in, but your leads and the antagonists are definitely putting their heart into the feature. There's definitely some, dare I say, continuity issues that I think could have been resolved. And when it comes to the women-on-women gladiatorial combat that's in it, it's kind of like, I'm just saying, as a underemployed professional wrestler, they definitely could have been choreographed better, offered us more. And then there's some silly things like bringing in a monster just to really quick throwaway gag, honestly. So that might be a problem when you have stuff that should be taken seriously. And I know we shouldn't take it too seriously at this micro budget, but you kind of want to see it used at least, instead of a poor tribute to Ray Harryhausen. So that's honestly my biggest complaints, is that it's could have had more fun on the budget that it had, I suppose. I mean, this was definitely an Indiegogo and Patreon funded feature. Just a slight few tweaks, and this is definitely something that if I saw it on Tubi, which it currently is on, I might give a watch and, save myself the $27. But I digress. It's fun. It's a fun feature, though, for people who want to appreciate low budget efforts, dare I say. The effort is what you're there for, and it doesn't fall short on that. So Galaxy Warriors is definitely something I think I might try to consider going with at B-Fest. I just worry because it's an SRS release, and I think that was what distributor did the movie Truth or Dare at B-Fest, and we couldn't get through all the trailers to the point that we had to go and run it off YouTube to enjoy. But
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Bring the noise.
thank you for checking out this bonus episode of I Dig Crazy Flicks with Catbus Russ. This is your host, Catbus Russ. I'm down in St. Louis, Missouri for GalaxyCon St. Louis, the first GalaxyCon in St. Louis, I found out today. And yeah, you can definitely kind of feel that, dare I say. It was a little frustrating getting my credentials, what have you. But, they're doing their best. I'll give them that. I hear it's a lot tougher on the talent being brought in. Because Missouri, they still have an athletic commission. So wrestling shows tend to try to do their business in either the other side of Kansas City or Collinsville, Granite City, I suppose. So, yeah, not a great state. And if I may say about St. Louis, it's kind of like how my friend was telling me who moved down to Memphis to work for St. Jude, that the state pretty much ignores the only liberal hotbed it has to offer. So they're doing their best to gentrify, but my hotel is just a mess because it's one of those gentrified buildings, and getting in was awful. Parking's awful. Parking's expensive on top of that. And then, I get into my room with no TV working. I was able to jerry-rig that system, despite there was supposed to be a maintenance guy giving me the right controller to do everything. It's just really... let's just put it this way. Hilton, don't text us at frickin' midnight. How's your stay going? And not expect us to be very honest about it. So, it's going to be a tough review on them. I'm open to honors points, dare I say. My parents probably hope that I go for the discounts, but I digress. So, yeah. The city's kind of a mess, and that's, but once we get moving, finding the convention center wasn't too hard. It's been interesting. My guest for these panels has been Nick's Eclipse. You may remember him from the Cinema Shit Show episode about There's Nothing Out There. So he's uses ways. He's dealing with his own parking issues. And that's a story unto itself. So, trying to get coordinated has been challenging at times. He made it for the panel though, and I took enough of his pressure. We got in because again, first GalaxyCon St. Louis, the queue at 11, the con opens at 9, was just ridiculous. So fortunately I ran into somebody and to get your credentials, and it's like, get your QR code ready, and I didn't get a QR code. I'm a panelist. I can show you I'm on the schedule. And they took care of me as best they could. So they're doing their best. I can't really say there's a lot on the panel floor, which is, not unusual for a new con. but I've got got enough shopping done for Christmas. I will say that, and there's I'm probably have to buy somebody's book, and did run into Aaron Reynolds of Effin' Birds and Bootleg Safari, and did ask him, how come you're not doing a Bootleg Safari, and he said, well, they just need a last minute guest. So, and we joked around about how cons treat us. I did talk about Galaxy Warriors with them, which I guess, hey, might as well throw that in there, at least the trailer, and, maybe pop on the review as well. We'll see if Nick's comes back to the room. He's doing a lot of wandering. He's an interesting fellow, I'll say that. But he's doing his best to help me out. And when we did our panel for 90 for Chill, he was great. He at least kept me balanced, and we had a good crowd. Started with maybe 5 people. Punch and Pie is almost depleted. Button supply, not as much, but so yeah, the Punch and Pie is almost depleted. That means we damn near had 20 people. So better turnout than GalaxyCon Des Moines. There were some people going in and out, but it's something we were discussing with a couple of the people in the audience, like what was I saying to? Oh, we're complaining how the panels are all structured, hour time slots, and then it just doesn't really feel very balanced, and so much stuff is still on top of each other. Let's just limit it to 45, 50 minutes tops, and then, allow for more stuff, or at least allow us to get to different panels. When it came to panels today, I checked out the None of This Matters podcast with MC Chris and Dana Snyder, and they were pretty good today. Much more concise on their topics. No junk jokes, for essentially fun stories of MC Chris growing up with his brothers, trying to get from Catholic school to public school, getting phones, fake stories about having a picture of Michael Jackson and E.T. and a fake signature for Michael Jackson to convince the lasses that, hey, I know this guy. And Dana Snyder did a great little bit about that, talking about his lower registered voice and everything about Michael Jackson. I got a little bit of involvement when they were discussing something about cryptoids and cryptid museums, and like, this is the hand of Captain Hook, and it's like, okay. And I brought up the question, like, okay, if that's the hand of Captain Hook, why did the crocodile keep chasing him? And Dana Snyder, well, because he was delicious. And it's like, no, he would have digested the hand. Like, oh, no. You understand, like, crocodiles. Well, I said alligator. You ever saw crocodiles? And, well, I don't know. It's something about the teeth, and you don't see a crocodile's teeth, or you don't see a gator's teeth, and somebody, killed the entire bit by just saying, oh, the difference is one you see later, the other you see after a while. So that was fun, and that's where I got a lot of my audience for the 90 for Chill panel. So thank you, Dana and Chris. I'm not really doing a lot of the nightlife, I should say. My hotel is really after I got everything straight, because again, Nix was trying to use Waze to get there, and it's like, okay, I use Google Maps, but once we got on the right street, then I could figure out everything, and parking shouldn't be a bitch tomorrow. It will be a bitch just because, I'm gonna have to. Just very much. Nix is in a position where he can't spend money, essentially. So any shortcut he can get, he's gonna take. And can't blame the guy. So, so that's his goal today was just to see Bruce Campbell, and his line was just like, I mean, he basically said, "Don't even try getting in there." And I didn't know he was still in. He was in the queue himself. Like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll take a look at the schedule in the morning. I was able to dig out a Army of Darkness Ash Funko Pop, which goes for $30 unsigned. And then I see stuff like just places selling Funko Pops and like damaged box and like $5 off. And like I don't get the entire box thing. Yeah, it's fun for signatures, but that's not like when you open baseball cards, you have to open the cards. You can't keep them in the pack. You just can't damage them. That's what mint is. But you have to take them out. So I've always hated the fact that boxes are so important to these collectors. I mean, I guess perchance it's the concept of cherry for toys. I mean, even going back to The Simpsons, Comic Book Man. And we did have a discussion about, Nix and I were just talking about Lucy Lawless anyhow, about certain movies. Ash vs. Evil Dead. I thought she was married to Ted Raimi. I guess she's married the Tappert. Yeah, Rob Tappert, the producer of the Evil Dead series. We talked about Midnight Meat Train, though. So together, like, that was just in the room bullshitting this morning before we went to breakfast. And hey, I can't complain about the continental breakfast at the Hilton True / Home 2 in downtown St. Louis. I mean, it's definitely not. Yeah, I really shouldn't complain because this type of place is going to just get you the bare minimum. But then again, I think that Kite Man, hell yeah, and yogurt is not too much to ask. So sorry. As I say, honors points or knock something off my bill. Hilton True. Yeah, so essentially we got to the con. He was waiting all the way up till we did the panel, and he kind of, he's not a trustworthy guy. He's a hustler. That's what I'll say about Nix. Like, oh, he cut a deal with these people, and yeah, it didn't happen for him. But he did check out the Lou Ferrigno panel, which I guess he had, which was interesting because he asked about the first Hercules movie and tossing the bear into space. And Lou Ferrigno is known for being hard of hearing. And so they had to read the question. It's like, no, this isn't involving you. Oh, no, that's a movie I did. So it'd been good fly in the wall situation there, which tells me I still got to remember. You got to get somebody to get you a sound bite. So I'll have to be on the lookout for panels, but I do want to get that Funko signed. And I guess he's not doing, his prices aren't ridiculous. And it is fun, I guess. Haven't done any GalaxyCon autographs till today. So they don't have the Epics autograph / photo system. Now, photos are a different mess on how to get, but autographs, you just walk up, and it looks like they're pretty much taking care of themselves. They might have a representative from GalaxyCon, but autograph-wise, I should say, and I'll have to look that up about who I got an autograph from today, and a photo, just so to appease my niece back in Morton, Illinois. Let me get that up. So I thought we had for a bit, Charlotte, my niece, wanted to be the purple-haired K-pop demon hunter. And, there we go. I thought you would hyphenate K-pop. I digress. Yeah, I'm on IMDb right now. So they have Mei Hong. She's there. It's very, very, very interesting, like the names coming up. You got Daniel Day Kim. Right, yeah, of course. Probably multiple voice actings and what have you. Come on. Who's playing? Yeah, I probably should have just tried pulling up. That's another thing. Like, GalaxyCon Des Moines, they at least... No, GalaxyCon doesn't have an app, which is a pain in the ass, because I don't trust putting my schedules onto just a regular HTML format, what have you, JavaScript. Oh, so that's... interesting there. Well, no, it's not an interesting thing. It's just a pain because all right, they had their dare I say programs like Des Moines did. No, it's not a program. They don't have the schedule in there. They don't have a bunch of ads saying, "Hey, come to Columbus GalaxyCon. We're gonna have the ROH AEW Collision double shot." Which I'm kind of excited for, and I was kind of excited driving, trying to make sure we get the best deal on parking, dare I say. Drove past the Shavitz Arena, and you get to see they are pumped for Wrestle Dream next weekend. So that's cool. I mean, hopefully I can just instead get myself on waiting list for Cubs tickets. That's the dream, should I say. I don't think I'm going to be able to spawn those resources. Oh yeah, come on, Russ. Get back to our GalaxyCon guy, the guy you got the autograph from for your niece, and I took a picture with him. So I'm really feeling like a shit here. Voice actors. There we go. I really wish I could have got the Has-Been, but I've seen him. I'm still trying to track down frickin' Keith David. I will say that. And I did see cosplay. Nothing too spectacular. I did see a nice character from Has-Been that I don't see too much cosplay since it's a one-eyed character. That looked pretty cool to me, at least. Alright, so Danny Chung, that's the person I got an autograph with. He plays, I think, Baby. I guess it's Charlotte's crush from the movie. So, so don't let her listen to this, Ryan. Ryan's my little sister. So yeah, took the picture, got the autograph. So when you're only doing $60 for both, it's like, well, yeah. That's like the Joe Hendry back at C2E2. So I think it's a steal, and it's great that they're just autographs are being reasonable. For Nick's, though, it's kind of strange. He was telling stories about Kane Hodder and how he's met Hodder so many times, and then like the last time he was at a con, Kane expected him to pay for autographs. Like, you didn't do this to me before, man. I mean, I could say my own commentary about that. I'm a wrestler, merch stands, all that. I mean, did I ever pay for Colt Cabana autograph? Technically, no. I bought the Wrestling Road Diaries, and he autographed them to sweeten the deal. And I may have been an asshole by joking, I'm one of the boys. I can make a joke about, I should have looked down at the I Star David Colt shirt, So, so that's the autograph. I went to the MC, MC Chris and Dana Snyder panel, or podcast recording, and went down to the floor and met a few of the writers there, and there's some interesting stuff. I can't recall his name, but he's doing a story about raptures happened, Satan's come to Earth, hell, but there's no more murder because somebody killed Death. So I hope I'll get that. So it's pricey, the book, $35. That's basically the only thing holding me back there. But I'll try to get that info on the guy. I mean, I signed up for his mailing list, so perchance, by Wednesday I could go pop that in there for him. or Tuesday per chance, because there's just so much stuff to try to get through as we plan for Devil's Night and the Crow panel from ATL Comic Convention. I got so much it's spooky month. I want to do horror, but I still got so many panels to get on that I've recorded. So yeah, and I ran into Aaron Reynolds and got the lowdown about why he didn't do bootleg. He's not doing bootleg Safari, and they're paying for my hotel. It's all expense paid for him. It's like, damn, you're doing that well. I only get to get into the con. Jeez. Just joking with him. As I said, we talked about Galaxy Warriors. I didn't bring up Nano Shark, but so, I gotta probably, and he's quick to give me freebies. He's always been cool and good about that. So, didn't have any Blu-rays though. So, what am I to do? And I can't recall. We talked about something. One of the RoboCop is a Predator movie. So I might have to refresh that with him. And, watch Bad Movie Bible on that. And Nick's watches Bad Movie Bible too. So somebody's going to help hook me up some point with what I'm missing. As I say, got my Christmas shopping done. I got my youngest niece. My little brother said she's a fan of Mewtwo, so I found some 3D printed Pokemon figures, and so I got her Mewtwo, and then I also accompanied it with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirtle Squad. So a Squirtle with representing each, Donnie, Leo, Mikey, and Raph. So that was cute. So my little brother probably will get a kick out of that at least. No small parts, big thing, but she's 4 now, so I shouldn't worry about that. Not a lot of stuffed animal options, dare I say. And to say the exhibition floor was kind of short on shops, and they and that's another thing, they didn't really work to get food set up or anything like that. It's basically you're buying the concessions, and I get it, we kind of have that with C2E2, but and then that was another thing Aaron was talking were talking about, the cost of a table, and Aaron said, they are upping the price of C2E2, so I better talk to Allie about that one, because I was saying, we can get a table, you can sell your crafts, I can sell some stuff too, and we got to get just to get the podcast out there on the biggest con in Chicago. And I guess he was saying, well, they're upping the prices to match Emerald City Con and New York Comic Con. Honestly, well, New York Comic Con is actually happening this week. I guess what Aaron was telling me, no, I don't pay for anything except, as I say, he gets his flights. He's flying out of Toronto. So he's not paying anything except for when he goes and does San Diego Comic Con. It's $4,000 for a table. So, geesh. We're not quite there. And, I'll have to bring that up to Dad next time. He's like, you're not planning to do San Diego? So, then we did our panel, and as I said, I think it went pretty well. I brought up a little bit of cancel culture concepts as well, because we got in a conversation about disclaimers. Somebody brought up, Looney Tunes doing disclaimers, and then you have, that is not going around 83. Load of bollocks. I don't know why we're calling so many strikeouts and what have you. No, he held up. All right. We got to get these games done fast. No, we're overworking the bullpens now, and you're gonna have another 15-inning affair like last night with the Tigers. Tough one. Just shot some stuff out. We talked about, Nyx is more of a horror guy, obviously, and I can't say we got that out of the audience, but, somebody is prepping to do boy for me. Nick's jumped on it, though, so taking that one for the team. Usually I end up doing it, I know. And I remember thanks Stacia and Skimble. So something to remind myself of. But, so that's, so I thought the panel went good. The audio is bad. It's because we had to keep opening up new things of cherry pies and punch. So we were able to rotate around who's giving the punch out and such. So Nick's is very cool about that. I meant to go and see Hanging with Dr. Z. Dana Gould is Dr. Zaius' talk show, which I guess is a GalaxyCon exclusive. And I guess they built a set for him and they bring it around. So, because I was right, like my panel is 3:15 to 4:15, and that's what we're talking about scheduling. Like, okay, so I don't get any time to wrap up and go to the panel I want to check out. But I stuck around for a panel about the psychology of the boys, essentially. Its impact on us and the deeper scarring things. I'm sure there's a lot more to do, but there were some tech issues, which I hope I'm not responsible for, because Nick said, you know what, we probably should turn off the projector. Let's not have any unexpected expectations, like, because I don't, if I couldn't get anybody lined up, yes, I would start doing the PowerPoint, or I guess in whatever the Apple equivalent is, not coming to immediate mind. I'm sorry, it's on my mind now, so let me get in there. Keynote, that's what it is. So the panel I checked out was about the boys and the psychological impacts, what have you, with a doctor in psychology. She meant to have more people there, which would have made up for the fact of the tech issues that took 15 minutes off of her panel. As she was clever, though, I'll say that, doing a PDF and just scroll the F down, So I thought they were doing stuff at 9. I'm just looking at the schedule. Maybe I was being a dick when I was saying these guys are not figuring out their stuff. All right. 10:30 p. No, that's Slaw and Otaku. Yeah, 9 a.m. Okay. So, coffee with Kirk and Luke. So that could have been a special event. That was Sean Gunn and Scott Patterson from the Gilmore Girls. And I guess Scott Patterson's doing that tomorrow morning. So good for them being so cool with that and, playing to their gimmick. So I'm just trying to find the information on that panel. I was at for the boys, give cred where credit is due. Again, it's like you got to give us a program or you give us an app. There's scrolling down. I could have checked out the K-pop Demon Hunters, but I figure I got the picture. I got the, and it was the guy was very cool, honestly. So let's see. I did crazy Harvey Keion photo. Sorry, just reading through here. Hell of a Boss Q&A. That would have been interesting. I haven't gotten around to watching that yet. It's just now been all put on Amazon Prime Video. Okay, Lou Ferrigno Q&A. That's what happened at the same time as the diabolical draw of the boys universe. I think the intention was to flip it on us. Why are we watching the boys? Not, Homelander's a psychopath type stuff. Okay, and they don't list her name. Granted, I put in my description. Ruby, Dr. Ruby, sorry. She also was doing a panel tonight about the psychological draw of The Last of Us. And I know she's doing one about trauma tomorrow, so maybe I'll get that out, check that out. Do I surrender that? Do I trust Snicks with the money to get me my autographed Bruce Campbell? Just put him on a mission? Yeah, I'm not going to do that to him. I will get it. That's all I will say. I have that pop. Like, that was very lucky for me to find that Funko Pop. It was on the top of a big old box of Funko Pops I had. And, so... but it was a good panel, and she was very smart. She was supposed to have a couple more doctors with her, or at least, very well-educated psychologists. And I guess there was a COVID outbreak at her school, so she was the only one to make it out of the 4 that were originally supposed to be there. Hey, but you don't have to pass the mic around. And she did a smart little trick of, like, would somebody like to read this and tell us all about that? Which I did a couple of times. Like the sound of my own voice. I mean, I do a podcast, dare I say, and Oh, come on, no. Stay in. You're under it. Dang it. Too good to sell, Ian. Jeez. Still a home run for the Brewers. We can drop more bombs. Jeez. Okay. So, yeah, and so having us read stuff that pretty much allowed her to go and have drinks, take breaths, catch her breath. So really, really smart lecture, because he even said, like, without the other people, it is pretty much class. But it was a fun class, and I look forward to trying to catch one of her panels tomorrow about trauma and such. So, good job there, and I'll hopefully remember your name from there. Sorry. Geesh. I should have just took a photo like I took a photo of MC Chris and Dana Snyder. Slipping, Russ. Slipping. So I'm at the hotel now, watching the game. Cubs are currently down by 1. We're in the bottom 4. So I don't think we're in our bullpen yet. 40 pitches? Could be. And it's going to be rough. We might have to pull Rhea right now. So, okay. So, yeah, just that's where we are at. I got to leave at some point to actually get some real food. Gosh, if you want marked up food, the True by Hilton, canteen. Oh, gosh, $6 for a soda, $6 for a bag of chips. I've been, like, when I was at the Hampton Inn on Georgia Tech's campus for ATL Comic Convention, the prices weren't great, but geez, come on, no, you can't, you don't. Oh gosh, another comedy of errors, Cubs. We didn't advance. Okay, hey, that's on the Brew Crew. Okay. So yeah, I probably got to get this wrapped up just so I can chill out. So yeah, so it was a fun day. I think the podcast went well, which was Nick's biggest concern. So, we'll find out whenever I drop this. Yeah, I think I got to make it a double week, so maybe Tuesday. I digress, or... yeah, just so I can keep Spooky Month going, what have you. I do actually have some rewind stuff. So, that's what to look forward to this week, I guess, for the schedule, and I did Crazy Flicks. It's interesting, I'm trying to keep track how many bonus episodes I'm doing. Like, I think I did 25. Well, I think it came to 25 last year. And that's not fair, because I still had the 2023 stuff. So yeah, no, we're definitely, I'm doing a lot with this. So thank you very much for just listening to me BS, especially on these bonus episodes where it's I alone. So let's just get through all the formalities then, and I'll leave you on your way. You can help the podcast out by rating and subscribing on your favorite podcast apps. 5-star reviews preferably. Be as honest as you want in the comments. I will listen. I think that has been proven. You can follow me on my social media at CatBustRuss. Blue Sky is my preference, but I'm on Threads and I'm on Instagram. I'll just let you know I don't check Threads out very often, so I probably won't get the notifications. Instagram should cover that anyhow, but again, I digress. Meta sucks. Okay, I said it. You can also help the podcast out by joining my Patreon. That's patreon.com/IDigCrazyFlicks. $3 a month gets you a waterproof sticker. Of course, I decorate every water bottle. I got my portfolio of pictures and such with the logos. So, good sticker. You get a shout out on each episode as long as you're subscribed. So thank you, Tim Bates. Look for him on the Night of the Demons episode and the episode about 1989's Bloodsport in Space Arena. And, of course, The Scoop Staley, former AAW backstage interviewer. Backstage personality probably is the best way to put it. And on top of that, you get access to the original Podbean feed of 90forchill.com, the podcast, so you can see how I grew as a podcaster. The most important way to help the show out is, hey, come on the show. If you have a movie that's off the wall, just simply bonkers, I'd love to chat with you about it. So you can send an email to rustthebus07@gmail.com. That's RUSSTHEBUS07@gmail.com. And offer me that movie or offer me a theme, a director, an actor. As long as it's off the wall, we're not going to have any issue talking about it. But if you got something a little more down to earth, and it's funny, I was listening to the first half of the latest In Love with Movies episode of Nick and Danny. They were chatting with Sean Eastridge, who does the Missing Reels podcast. But it's pretty much been a Superman podcast since that's his favorite superhero and the movie, what have you. But it's a good show when he's talking about movies that do not involve some guy who wears his underwear on the outside. Shit. I haven't seen the new Superman, so maybe they don't, or I don't pay enough attention to his junk. There you go. But he was talking about the first time he did In Love with Movies, they talked about Before Sunrise, which Danny wasn't a real big fan. But, if it's a down-to-earth feature, Before Sunrise qualifies for a 90 for chill, and I'll happily talk about that. So, again, message me or just comment on Blue Sky at catbusruss.bsky.social, or send an email to rustthebus07@gmail.com, and let's fry up some podcast gold. And most importantly to me, at least when it comes to formalities, I'd like to thank Station Marie Harden for keeping an eye on me, keeping me out of too much trouble. Trouble is something I still want to talk about, but I came from a gossipy town, so I just hope you're doing the same to protect those you touched in your life, and I hope you're squeezing the ectoplasm out of the most jellicle of kitties, Skimbleshanks, the one-eared angel. So thanks for tuning in to this bonus episode of I Did Crazy Flicks with Cat Bus Russ, and as I say, I think we're going to be back Tuesday with either the rewind or the panel. So check it out. Thanks again, and have yourself a good night.
Can I hear a wahoo?
This podcast was made possible by the love and support of Dave and Cindy Stevens, Rory Stevens and Allison Higgins, Danny Daniels, and Stephanie Smith.
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.